everyone. I'm Overhaul, and today we'll be reviewing in My Academia Volume 16. The usual disclaimer in the beginning of videos. I am not a kid specific channel, although the topics I discuss might look kid specific. Well, they'll most likely end up being some serious horrific stuff that are too mature for kids to watch. Or I'll start coming up with fan fictions that will be more destructive and more scary for kids to see and hear. So I think it's the best to not watch my channel if you are a kid. And with that said on the way, let's get on with this review. My apologies for being out of YouTube for what honestly feels almost like a month. It's just that something different new happened that, kind of set my work system a bit off. So right now, I'm trying to get back the swing of it. Right. So yeah. Now with that said, let's really just get into this review. Now, whenever there's a part where I have like low energy, day in my life when I have low energy, like let's say in the morning of school, like no one has energy in the morning of school. Like you're all like, oh my god, I can't believe it. The thing that I found the best way for me to help get my energy up so I can do it is reading volume 16. Meaning, and you may ask why. Well, because the fight with Kirishima and Rappa is so fucking great and so fucking manly that just fills me up with energy. So yeah, I not now. Although I would discuss I'll discuss the whole Rappa versus Kirishima thing at the later because it's the last part. Let's go through all the other stuff that happened here. Now the Yakuza, the Shikisai investigation is starting to go on the way. We have the heroes preparing for the fight against the Yakuza. And we basically see at the beginning how these things usually work. Like when you have like a big attack, when you have a massive scale, not just like a raid on a warehouse, like massive scale, like an entire organization. We see that a bunch of heroes people are getting prepared and are getting their lists of all the registered quirks from the people they are known are part of this. Which is nice they explain it to us in how this really works to see that there is more than just a bunch of people getting together, going there and swinging it. It's also interesting how they say that there could be a problem if they are any good with their quirks, which they Sekai are pretty good with their quirks. So yeah, it's nice to see this in the first chapter, and then cut immediately to the Sekai building, which makes sense since I don't think anyone would like to get all the details of what they know. I mean, that is pretty boring information. So they first do the standard police procedure, which is we have a warrant for investigation, open the gates, but the Sakai are already completely aware of it and come charging right out. And there, in the beginning of stages, there's not really anything going on with the in the beginning. Ray, like the giant dude from the Hasekai, who I believe his name was Rikia, doesn't really get that much of a fight. It's more just to show I think it's more just to show how the overwhelming strength that Ryuko has. This guy who's a massive dude who seems like who basically was able to easily break a steel giant door is nothing compared to Ryuko's strength. That's pretty much what I think was the beginning stage 4. And then we also get some of the fox like trying something, but it's clear they're being completely overwhelmed. And we basically have the police and the heroes storming through the Sakai building and begins to the doorway where the real action starts. And they go into they also get some little bit of resistance from some other thugs, but again, it's Bubble Girl and then easily overwhelm them. So they go down, and basically that's when the real yeah, maybe the other guys who were in the house would have like stole you a bit, but the real pieces that are supposed to stole you are in the basement, where we have Mimic, one of the heads of the organization, using a drug drop that makes your quirk stronger. Use it on himself so he'll be able to manipulate the entire basement and sending you into different areas to fight against some of the more powerful, the 8 bullets of the Hisekai. Now, I am having a little problem with this type of setup because, needless to say, there seem to have only been like 3 groups that have really been picked to like guard everyone. And I mean, granted, I'm pretty sure Mimic's power would make him be able to just like uh, send you back to them, but it seems like it was very like not really that well split up. Like, I get it, not all the Hasekai members are powerhouses. In fact, I would say Kendo Rappa is like the only one who would really make sense to have on your own. But it is a little weird how you have this massive hero group, and yet the idea is basically just like send some of them to the villains you have, and the other ones to just like, I don't know, enter different rooms and hope they get stuck there for long enough for you to escape. It seems a little weird. So yeah, they go running around and they also figure out how exactly does the whole thing work because they're confused about the wall. They're confused like a lot. Like they did not plan on all this, but they were just honestly trying to figure out the most logical strategies with their known quirks and then storm them. Then we have then we have them split up and we get a lot of characterization from Amajike Sun Eater when he goes up against the free garbage of the Hasekai, which, you know, I'm aware that there's a YouTuber whose entire story deal is like taking characters and explaining their deeper meanings. Like, this is what they were inspired by, this is what their names means, this is the influence. Like, the beauty of this character, the building up in that skull in this character. Like, just this type of thing. I cannot remember the name. I think it was something meta. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that the way those people described were pretty much just to be, garbage for Amajike to really win. So yeah, Amajike gets a pretty cool fight. Now, I would say this is the biggest showcase of the difference between My Academia's fights and the fights in other cities like Black Clover. And the difference is really the characters are not really as over the top and as flashy as they are here. Like, the current fights could be considered that, but when it comes to My Hero fights, they're not over the top. Because when it comes to the battle with Amajike, there is no real insane punches that break the sound wall, some insane cracking, some insane over the top blasts. Like, the battle with Amajike is good, don't get me wrong, but it's not over the top and overly flashy. It's just a more humanoid fight. Like, it's a fight between a guy who can transform his limbs based on what he ate, and a guy who can steal everything as long as he can see a certain size, with a guy who can eat everything, and a guy who can turn his body into crystal like substance. I do believe it's said that it's not actual crystals, but it's pretty close, or diamonds, I think. So yeah, they fight, and it's a pretty good fight. But the main point of that is then we get Sinu's backstory. We find out that in the beginning he was always a bit more meek. Like, Sinu is this very intro, the type of guy who just wants to hide, go into the corner and just play interacting with introducing yourself is so hard. Like, he really isn't doesn't have the personality you think that one of the big three has. But even in the beginning stages, he was like panicking. Oh, what do we do? What do we do? We plan for this? Oh, what do we do? Like he's not completely scared, a scaredy cat, but he's not really doesn't really have the personality you would have think he should have. So yeah, and we also get the relationship between him and Miracle, which is more to like build up on how great Miracle is. And so Machiki fights them, and he's able to do some and his fight in a very unique way where he powers him. He uses the crystal of one of his opponents. That's to get himself a power up so he can use his already existent substance he ate to beat them all. Which is a very unique type of fight because usually when it comes to like these types of fights where you have to win by strategy, it's usually like a duo using something or something of other. It's like it's just one character thinking his hand while he's damaged and bleeding. Against multiples. That's pretty good and it's pretty rare. Like, I'm not saying there aren't fights where someone wins with strategy, but usually it's like one-on-one type of thing. So yeah. And then we pretty much there's a little bit of a delay with moving, like there's a bit of a gap I would say. And then we get the fight between Kirishima and Rappa, which I'm gonna explain a little bit later, just get out the story narrative. And then we get after the battle with Kirishima and Rappa, and we get Kirishima's backstory, which I guess I can explain that. Kirishima's backstory is very great because it does flesh out his character as well as it builds up a villain later on in Gigantomachia. It also gives us a little bit of a narrative more with Mina. No, because let's be fair, it's very weird how like only Bakugo and Izuku were the only two who knew each other before they came to UA. That's a little weird, and it's explained they did actually know each other. Now they actually meet. Now the backstory is very emotional. It shows how like Kirishima's personality is not really how he always was. He was much more closer to Tamajiki in his personality, and how he feels weak that he can't really defend how he was scared. But he manages to pull through and is amazed to see how Mina, even though she was scared, she was able to move and stop Gigantomachia from attacking her two threats, which honestly I'm kind of questioning Gigantomachia's intelligence at some points. Like, are you seriously going around threatening people to tell you the information of a hero and then, like, what, killing them? I mean, granted, I'm sure that, honestly, outside of All Might and the top heroes, no one can really beat Gigantomachia, but really, I mean, wouldn't you like to die? Like, aren't you a bit concerned? I mean, you're already a pretty massive dude as it is. But yeah. So his backstory is fleshed out really well. And William shows us how the problem that some people might have in this world, where they may have like a very simple type of a quirk which aren't as strong in their base forms, and that's how some people might view it. Like Kirishima's quirk is explained that it wasn't always like full body. Sometimes it was like a bit of hardening, but not like to the level it is now, where he can pretty much just go into a straight up brawl fight with a guy who has a very like a full body steel type of quirk. It's short and it's nice to see it. And I like it how Crimson Riot is really shows why Kirishima would view Crimson Riot as the inspiration instead of All Might. Like in a way, everyone kind of is inspired by All Might, but he doesn't need to be your favorite. It's kind of like how when the reason why some people rank this character in superhero to be the best, it's not because they are the best, because they're their favorite. It's because they just are. Like when in your personal list, he may not be like in your top, may not be top, but when you look at look at, he will be the top. So yeah, I like the explanation. I like the backstory. And I like the development with Kirishima, and shows how the thing that he's scared of right now the most, like no matter what you put against him, is being back to he couldn't do anything scared state, which is an amazing moment during the battle. Again, I'll talk about later. Then we have the final part, which is not really all that related to it. It's basically just the legal villains part of the arc, where they explain that yes, the legal villains and the Siyake Sakai are cooperating to a degree, and they've given them Twice and Toga. And Twice and Toga show up and attack. I like the part where Toga shows how skilled she is, the fact that she was able to fight it Rocklock, a pro hero off, thanks to Twice's quirk. And I like Twice using his quirk to make a Kendo Rappa because, well, he's very useful. I still don't understand why Twice didn't make Kendo Rappa earlier on, sometime during the previous arc, before he tragically passed away. Twice forever in our hearts. But alright, at least it shows that the intelligence that they should have, the strongest guy, which, let's be fair here, outside of Overhaul, Kendo Rappa is the strongest Asuka member. I'm not trying to be making fun of the 8 bullets, but alright, 3 of you guys who got completely destroyed by one character, who was still able to be conscious later on. One guy with a shield pretty much got cracked open in one shot, but even though he had a shield, just because he has no shield. And and not to spoil the remaining 2, but Miracle basically 2 shots one of them, and the other one, I believe, just loses consciousness after he gets 2 punched and shoots. I'm not gonna spoil it, just needless to say, Kendo Rappa is by far the strongest, with that guy in the beginning possibly being behind him. But even then, I would say he is just a big muscle head, nothing else really. Now let's talk about the real action, shall we? And that is Kirishima, Fat versus Kendo Rappa. And the douchebag with a shield, but let's be fair, it's Kendo Rappa and Fat versus Kirishima. Now, this is honestly a very simple fight when you go down to it. It's a fist fight based on your strength, your invulnerability, and just pure manliness. This fight is probably another one that really shows why the battles between Michael and Oasis are gonna be lesser. And that's because, if you had a fight like this in Black Clover, let's look at Veteran Milion for the perfect example. Those are fist fighters, but compare them to this. In that one, they move what seems to be insanely fast with literally just their forces of punch, which is the only impression I see to what Veto is doing there. Just flying at one another and jumping through. You would literally not even know this is supposed to be a fist fight half the time. You would think it's some kind of long range or something. That is what Black Clover is, for example. But this is shows a difference with Shima and Kendo Rappa. And Kendo Rappa just attacks you multiple times thanks to his quirk and pushes you back, and it doesn't have insane blow-ups behind you or something. It just pushes you back, and if you can't handle the force, it will knock you back. And it really shows the gap between Kirishima and Kendo Rappa, because Kendo Rappa is able to, at the beginning, one shot Kirishima into a wall where he can barely even stand from cracking. And Fat Gum, whose quirk is literally to handle hits upon hits, is literally getting destroyed and damaged just because of this guy's punches. To a level that's insanity how powerful Kendo Rappa is. And of course, there's that annoying shield guy who basically is I'm going to be I'll be cut blocking you from this awesome fight by using my shield for you not to get damaged, Kendo Rappa. And it shows how pissed off Kendo Rappa is with the shield guy. He even states the whole double system is really it's not really something that we decide, something that the overjerk decided. to show really that Kendo Rappa might be one of the 8 bullets, but he's not really loyal. He's more like, oh, I'll be stuck with you until I beat you. And I find that great. I like that a lot because, you kind of wonder how exactly are all of these people able to follow Overhaul completely, and we find out there's 3 different ways. One way is the way that the regular fucks are working on the Overhaul, which is they're scared because they know they can't really do anything. Most of the 8 precepts, they follow him because they view him as the messiah, the figure, the guy who knows everything. That we are garbage, but we will work for him to make sure that he succeeds. Whereas garbage will be pretty much worthless. And then Kendo Rappa is like, I'll be stuck with you, but I will break you one day. So yeah. Also, by the way, Kendo Rappa is back. It's currently in Vigilantes current manga, and I cannot wait for the next chapter to see the battle between Knuckle Duster and Kendo Rappa. I'm assuming Kendo Rappa is going to win, or something will happen to prevent Kendo Rappa to win because, considering how bloodthirsty his personality is, and I feel like he would, do something if he were to lose to Knuckle Duster. So yeah, this fight was amazing. Amazing. And the best part is definitely at the beginning and the end where Kendo Rappa has Fat Gum left to run like one more hit and Fat Gum loses, and Kendo Rappa is like crying, but please dude, don't lose by this hit. Like, he's not holding back, but he wants Fat Gum to like remain. And Kirishima shows up and just takes that berry of punches. Those punches, by the way, every one of them is as strong, if not stronger than the first one who blasted Kirishima to the wall. Takes all of them. And Rappa is like, thank God you're so powerful. Like, completely Kirishima completely gets Rappa's respect. Like, he's amazing. He's like, oh great, you're amazing, kid. You're perfect. And then Kirishima, even though he's being punched by things that should, honest to God, already be killing blows for him, he still stands up and tries to punch back. But that stupid shield guy is there to block it. And honestly, I feel like that Tokoshi makes this is going a bit subtle with this moment, with Kendo Rappa reacting to the shield guy using his shield to block that one hit, which honestly I feel like Kirishima should have gotten that one hit. Because, I mean, even if that Kirishima did hit Kendo Rappa, I feel like it would just be like, pretty much a bonus hit, but still like, mad respects. And Kendo Rappa's like, you shouldn't do. Like, seriously, I honestly feel like in more over the top series, that scene with Kendo Rappa would be basically like, did you just prevent this man from hitting me with his fist after he's shown his amazing strength? I mean, I don't think he hits him against the shield guy after that, but I feel like he should have. Like, in all honesty, I feel like what should have happened is like, when the shield guy is going insane to like stop Fangum's special attack, I think at that point, Kendo Rappa should like be sending attacks at him as well, so the guy would have to fuse the barrier, his barriers and his, with Fangum and Kendo Rappa to like show off, like, yeah, to like really, to make honestly Kendo Rappa to look better. But yeah, Kendo Rappa at that point also goes for the hit where Fangum goes and just they break things together. Honestly, I honestly want to make the claim that the reason why the shield broke easier and was as effective as it was because Kendo Rappa and fists were not as strong as Fangum's, but they were about the same. But Kendo Rappa's strength of Kendo Rappa and the strength was able to destroy the shield before, so the majority of that hit, the final hit that took that shield guy and Kendo Rappa out, would have been able to take that. That's what honestly I think happened. Disagree or agree with in the comment section. And the aftermath of Kendo Rappa was again amazing, with him basically being so like, take that man to the lab, to that restroom, let him get arrested so we can fight again. To even show that even though he will probably go sent to jail, which is honestly kind of bad that he was sent. Like, I'm hoping that he comes back in the main story in some way, form of way. Like, maybe Shigaraki breaks him out of prison, and then we get a rematch with Kirishima and Kendo Rappa to really show how much Kirishima has developed to like build up to him and inevitably fight Gigantomachia again. That's just my theory. I'm hoping that happens. Or maybe he'll be out. I'm not sure. But yeah, Kendo Rappa was amazing. That fight was probably the best part of this entire volume. Now, as for the other characters. Now, this is more of a Fat Gun, Kirishima, and Amajike type of a volume. Like, there's not much for the rest of the characters. Like, there's some good moments with them, like again, Toga, Kendo Rappa, but it's mostly just these three with some villains showing themselves up to really show what they are made of, which I think it's done perfectly well. It's a nice short volume for people who like want to see some action and to really like start the beginning fights or the arc for the main fights with Overhaul and Mirio to go up. I like the little build up before those fights with Overhaul with Kendo Rappa to like show off really the difference, to show that the characters Overhaul is like, there's a reason why Kendo Rappa is following him, because Kendo Rappa in himself could probably be like, honestly, because more bloodthirsty, short, like a couple chapters long villain. So yeah. Now, anyways, I hope you liked this video. I hope you're gonna leave a like and subscribe to this channel for more videos in the future. And with that said, I cannot wait to see all people next time. Bye.